Well, welcome. I am so excited to have you here. I feel like I stumbled upon you online, and I feel like we have a lot of things in common as far as just advocating for women and women's health. But I like fell in love with just the way you educate. So just can you tell me a little bit about yourself and why you do what you do?
Yes, I am Michaela North, and I founded a nutrition and fitness coaching company, Hungry Fitness, 10 to 15 years ago. And our biggest value is educating women so that they feel empowered in their health and wellness, whether that's improving their body composition or improving their health, giving them the education, tools, and strategies so that they feel like they can be successful and it doesn't feel so overwhelming to them is our top focus and something we're really passionate about.
I love that. I think when people know the why behind what they're doing, it's so much easier to know, like, really to have the motivation to do it. Like, knowing why to do it, you're like, oh, okay, the more you know, the better you can do, right?
Absolutely. And having a strategy that's individual to your life because there's so many ways to accomplish a goal and one size fits all is generally not the way to do it. And so giving women options and the why behind it allows for them to decide what works best for them.
So I love that. Well, I'm excited to have you here because one of the things that I feel like everybody is talking about is GLP-1s. And I am very passionate about doing them correctly. And how do you intermix the lifestyle and the diet with these peptides or with these GLP-1s? How do we blend them all together so that people get the results that they're looking to get and just doing the right way?
Yeah, peptides are so powerful, and we have so many women that are curious about them and come to us either on a GLP-1 or interested in being on a GLP-1.
Okay.
And so with Hungry Fitness, our goal is always to support them and teach them so that they know what their options are. So clients that come in using a GLP-1 or wanting to be on one, we will support them in terms of nutrition, habits, exercise, lifestyle, so that they can not only see fat loss for themselves, but have it be sustainable long term. So things like resistance training, so they're able to maintain lean tissue and have,
Okay, lean tissue. Break that down for our listeners.
yes, so they're able to either build muscle or maintain muscle. When you're on a GLP-1, you're going to suppress your appetite, which is going to be really helpful in terms of adhering to a calorie deficit, which we need a calorie deficit to lose body fat.
Absolutely.
However, when our appetite is suppressed, a lot of women just eat less food and they forget to eat protein. You're not as hungry. You might be a little bit nauseous. So eating a high protein diet is going to be more challenging on a GLP-1. And the problem with that is when we undereat protein and we're really undereating calories, we're at more risk of losing muscle. And muscle is our metabolic best friend. It's honestly the organ of longevity for us. So to lose muscle is going to be really detrimental to women long term. So we want to support them and make sure they're getting enough protein, make sure they're incorporating some form of movement that's going to support them maintaining their muscle. Yeah, and it doesn't need to be all or nothing. It doesn't need to be killing yourself in the gym, but just incorporating some regular weight training, getting enough protein is going to have a huge impact for most women.
Okay,
Honestly.
let me stop you there for protein.
Yes.
Okay, so well, first, I feel like these are just the things we all know we're supposed to do, right? We all know we're supposed to be eating protein, fiber. I think the last time I read, it was like less than 4% of Americans get in enough fiber every day.
Oh, I believe that.
It is a forgotten macro. Like it is.
Yes.
People have forgotten that it exists.
Most women come in if they don't know anything about fiber and they've never really heard about incorporating fiber. I would say most people are under 10 grams of fiber a day, and optimal is going to be about 25 to 35 grams per day. And so under eating by that much fiber can have a huge impact. No wonder we're always hungry. We have digestive issues. Yeah. So getting enough fiber is going to help, especially on a GLP-1, because you might have slower gut motility, some digestive distress. And so making sure you're getting plenty of hydration and fiber will help improve your digestion and support your gut microbiome, which are both really important. Yeah, especially on a GLP-1.
She's speaking my love language is what she's speaking, right? So I actually just taught on how your fiber, your probiotics, your good gut bugs, they take these prebiotics, they create short chain fatty acids in your cells that actually release GLP-1.
Yeah.
So it's not really a shock to me that we're GLP-1 deficient because we're fiber deficient, right?
Yeah, the more fiber you have, the more endogenous GLP-1 that your body's going to make for you.
Right, or again, endogenous.
So that's going to be exogenous would be like taking a GLP-1, right? A medication to support you that's outside of your body. Endogenous is your body's making that and producing it itself. So why not support a medication with your body's own natural messengers to support you so that you feel more satiated, so that you improve your insulin sensitivity and keep your blood sugar stable as well.
Yeah. So, okay, so all of this going back, I feel like, so like I said earlier, this is all the things we know we need to do.
Yes.
So you still need to do it while on a GLP-1. So how does that GLP-1 help with this part, the part that we know we need to be doing?
Yeah, I think for a lot of people, that food noise can be really strong and incorporating lifestyle factors can feel so overwhelming. And so maybe a GLP-1 is going to open the door for you, help take the edge off on your appetite so that now you can kind of breathe and maybe incorporate those lifestyle habits that have felt impossible for you before. The appetite suppression when you take a GLP-1 can be life-changing for a lot of people. And I've seen that with clients. But being able to then use that medication to incorporate habits that are going to support you long term is everything. Because if you're not doing that, then maybe you get off a GLP-1 in the future and you're right back where you started.
Yeah.
So using that tool to help you optimize in ways that are going to be for your best long-term health, is everything when it comes to fat loss and maintaining that for life.
Okay, so to recap, so all of these things, protein, fiber, nutrition, movement, sleep, stress management, all of these things that we know we need to be doing, right? So this isn't a replacement for that. This helps you do all of this.
Yeah, I think ideally for me as a nutrition and lifestyle coach, like I would love it if everyone came in and they were able to just incorporate all of these habits and that's what we focused on. But for many, that might feel impossible. So I love that there are powerful tools now that can be brought in as support. And I think as long as our clients are educated on the pros and cons and what's going to be the best individual solution for their needs, then that's what I want most for clients. So being able to support them and give them some strategies that they can incorporate, like resistance training that fits into their life, which does not need to be a huge overhaul. It can be minimal movement with minimal equipment that helps support maintaining your muscle long term, getting in adequate protein, incorporating fiber into your diet, maintaining hydration. All of these things are going to be really helpful for long-term success.
Yeah. So sometimes I see this on the internet, right? Where people are like, oh, you cheated. You took the skinny shot, right? But it sounds like really this just helps you do all of the things that you have. That is not cheating. That's just a tool to support this. Like any sort of supplement, like any sort of a cook, order food, whatever it is that helps you accomplish this just seems like a tool in the toolbox.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think our goal as coaches are to help women know what options are available to them from the lifestyle, diet, and exercise side of things to support that.
Yeah. Okay, so let's break it down. All of the lifestyle things. Like,
Yes.
what if, so say I'm sitting here and I was thinking about going on a GLP-1, right? I want to go on tirzepatide, for instance. So I want to go on this. What would be your advice to me? Like, what would be your step one, Chanelle, as a working mother of two tiny little humans that kick me in the spine at night and keep me up? And I might have even talked to you about this before. Movement is so hard. I'm doing calf raises in the shower, guys. In order to try to fit in some, I'm trying to park and, I'm taking the stairs. I'm trying to do all of those things because it is really hard to fit in exercise. So with all of this in mind, like, I'm on this, what would you say to me? Like, what's the most important thing for me?
Well, first of all, it does not need to be an entire life overhaul. Doing a little bit in each of these categories and building on that is going to yield the most success for you and make it not so all or nothing. Like something is going to have an impact and that's going to be an even bigger impact over time.
Yeah.
So starting small, like maybe incorporating some form of resistance training into your week twice a week, right? 30 minutes twice a week. You can use dumbbells or bands. Maybe you're doing them in your living room and build from there. And so having some regular resistance training in your week is going to help you maintain muscle, which is going to be really important because we don't just want weight loss, we want fat loss. And that's something that I think often we miss. And then in addition to that, making sure the food that you are eating is going to be beneficial to your body's needs. So prioritizing eating the rainbow a little bit, like getting in whole foods when you can so that you're getting in those micronutrients, because when we're eating less, that's just less opportunity for getting in the micronutrients, vitamins and minerals that our body needs to thrive. So when you are eating, prioritizing those, just which really comes from whole foods, right? Maybe filling in the gaps with a multivitamin. I want to say that. No, I'm trying to remember. I say multivitamin. I'm like, sorry. Okay, yeah. So maybe filling in the gaps with a multivitamin, but really prioritizing whole foods. And then from there, let's talk protein, right? That might feel really overwhelming. Look at your current protein intake, maybe track your food for a couple of days, see what your current intake is, and build from there. If you're eating 60 grams of protein a day, but you would be thriving on 120 grams, you don't need to jump to 120 grams of protein. Bump up by 15 grams. That's usually a little bit more protein per meal, maybe adding in a protein drink on the go, can have a huge impact over time. And usually those slower increases are going to help you feel better long-term. If you just double your protein intake overnight, you're not going to feel great.
Folks, I'm going to stop it right there. If you double your fiber intake overnight,
Fiber.
I want you to know that is not, yes. So yeah,
Building down changes. Like maybe looking at a list of high protein foods, looking at ones that you feel good eating and adding those into your week. Maybe looking at a list of high fiber foods, like how can we add in more berries, legumes, avocado, nuts, seeds, so that you're getting in more fiber and you're feeling those improvements, but doing them over time. Don't make it like, by the end of this week, I'm going to double my protein and fiber intake, because you will not feel good. So incorporating those habits, giving yourself a longer runway to do that, and being okay with making those small improvements each month. And paying attention, like, how am I feeling? What's my body's biofeedback? Do I have more energy? Am I seeing fat loss? Is it at a really high rate? Could I maybe be eating a little bit more food actually to support fat loss but still maintain muscle? Those are things that we would be looking at. So for our clients, we're looking at your biofeedback. How's your sleep? How's your stress? How's your recovery? How's your energy? How's your relationship with food? Are we just eating one meal a day and having it be donuts? Or are we trying to prioritize still getting in some fruits and veggies, still getting in protein, prioritizing fiber, getting in water, and knowing that a little bit of intention can be such a game changer, and it doesn't need to be like an extra 2 hours of prepping food every day. It's a matter of looking at your day and seeing, okay, what am I eating today? What's my schedule look like? How can I still incorporate some protein, get in water, and still feel energized and good throughout the day? Because the GLP-1 is going to suppress your appetite, but fueling your body appropriately is going to allow you to feel really good while you're also losing fat.
So I'm going to pull in like kind of my personal.
Yes.
So if you don't know me, I used to be borderline obese. I had gastroesophageal reflux disease. I had endometriosis. I had all of the things. And I felt like, so I had to change my diet, overhaul. I was a college student. I had 3 jobs. I participated in Taco Bell's 4th meal of the day frequently. Dr. Pepper was my water at the time. Anyway, so this was a long time ago.
Yes.
And I completely changed, like overhauled everything. It was hard. It was the hardest job I've ever had. It was hardest work I've ever had, but it was I feel like back then, had something like this been available, I know I would have jumped on it, because it was incredibly challenging to be in my early 20s and be so sick. Doctor after doctor after doctor, no answers, didn't know what was going on, all of the things. And so I feel like this pathway for people just brings in so much hope. Like to finally, because man, we think of food so many times in the day.
Yes.
And we're thinking about food more than we're thinking about our jobs, more than we're thinking about our loved ones, more than we're really thinking about anything. And I just think, what a waste of life, right? Like, I want to live life to the fullest. I want to experience all of the incredible things. I want time with my family, and I love what I do for my career and all of these things. And just to be stuck back where I was constantly thinking of that next snack, that next meal, that next thing. It's just been so rewarding for me to be able to open up to, I don't have food noise anymore. Like I used to struggle with binge eating. I did all of these things, right? And so I just look at this and I look at all of these women out there who could do this and like could do a peptide therapy, do a GLP-1 and this lifestyle intervention. And what an incredible opportunity. Like it kind of makes me emotional because like I was so sad, and it was so hard and the brain fog and the like, and I didn't have confidence and even the acne, like it was so much because of my health and to be able to like offer that to other people. That's why I love what you do is because you get to see those testimonials and those life-changing things and
confidence. I'm feeling empowered. Like that's it. I think the difference is being overwhelmed versus having tools and education and support to feel empowered.
Yeah. So all of this together really does empower women to be able to take their health in their hands and make a change.
Yeah.
And the girl I was in my early 20s versus the woman I am today, like sometimes I'm like, oh, it's going to be okay.
Yeah.
Like you're going to be okay. You're going to be able to like, I never had the confidence. Now I speak on stage in front of thousands of people, and that girl would have never dared do that in a million years. So that's what I'm so excited about just having you on and so I want to make it because I know what it felt like. So I was on all of those non-life sustaining medications. I had no idea where to start.
Yeah.
So that is where I'm like, how do we make this so simple that it's like step one, like what can we do just today?
We'll start with what feels the most accessible to you right now.
Okay.
And I think protein intake is one that's like pretty easy. You can get protein really anywhere.
Yeah.
And
okay, but what about the nausea on a GLP-1? Like how do we
So on a GLP-1, I think more lean protein options are going to help with that. Less fattier options. So think like chicken breast over maybe a chicken thigh. I'm trying to think of some other options. Maybe a white fish over a fatty fish, although we do want omega-3s to support inflammation. So that's important too. But thinking about, and maybe if you are on the go and you need to supplement, if you are going to supplement, having a protein that's not going to add to your nausea. For most people, a whey protein isolate is a good option for supplementation because it's going to be quick for absorption and allow for you to feel good, but also like using that to fill in the gaps and getting whole foods when you can and prioritizing things that are going to help you keep nausea at bay. A lot of times we'll do like soups are a good option.
Yeah.
The more you can utilize liquid calories if you're not feeling good, if you're feeling a little bit nauseous, the better. Also with appetite suppressed, liquid calories might be more of an easier option than eating. Like for most people in a calorie deficit, I would say let's not do liquid calories. But in terms of a GLP-1, it's going to be a little bit easier for you to digest.
Yeah.
More easily digestible protein options, essentially.
I would not be able to get in my protein intake without a protein shake because I drive to work.
Yeah.
And so I drink on my way in, I drink on my way out. I'm drinking in between meetings. So for me, like I know diversity is key, right? Taste the rainbow, huge believer in all of that, but my faith in life,
realistic.
Yeah, liquid calories is where I'm at. Even bone broth.
I drink bone broth is a really good.
Love it.
And there's optimal and there's realistic. And so I think for most people, it's finding kind of an in between for you.
I love that. So optimal, realistic, because sometimes we can't. And we can't live up here.
No, and I think that we hear optimal and we think I can't do that. I'm just gonna throw in the towel.
Yes.
And so thinking about like, okay, what's optimal? So for me, optimal is I'm gonna go and lift weights 3 times a week. That's going to be 45 minutes to an hour. I'm going to have an amazing workout. Realistic is, all right, I'm going to get in my garage and do a lower body 20 minutes, 2 exercises, and I'm going to feel good. I'm going to feel energized. I'm going to know I at least like checked that box off for myself and I'm maintaining muscle. So that feels really good. So I think looking at every category, whether it's protein intake, fiber intake, movement, and thinking what's optimal, what's like my perfect day of how I could incorporate this habit, and what's my worst day, how I can incorporate this habit. And we love to call those anchor habits. So maybe 120 grams of protein is your optimal goal, but 90 grams is like, that's realistic for me and that feels really good and that's better than 30 grams.
Okay, I like the range. That makes me feel better.
I love having ranges.
Yes, to feel It just seems so easy for it to be all or nothing.
Or maybe it's not even tracking your protein intake. Maybe it's I'm going to eat 3 times today and I'm going to make sure there's some form of protein in each of those meals.
Okay.
And maybe that's not 30 grams like I had planned, but I have some form of protein that's going to help me stay satiated. That's going to help support my lean tissue, my muscle mass.
Yeah.
And that feels really good. That's my anchor habit that I'm going to go to when it's a chaotic day. I'm eating 3 meals and I'm going to have some protein in them.
Okay.
And that's great.
So I love this because I actually learned from this. I am the person who it's all or nothing a lot of times. I mean, not all.
It's honestly
With
pretty common.
food, exercise, I seem to be an all or nothing person for some reason. But with food, I understand like there's going to be best days. But I think actually looking at it and being cognitively thinking, really intentionally thinking, what would my worst day look like? How do I optimize my worst day as well as my best day?
Yeah, because then you're giving 100%. It just looks different day to day or season to season. And you might have seasons where things are less chaotic and stressful and you can really make make huge strides towards your goals, and other seasons where you're more maintaining, but that feels really good too to maintain your progress.
Okay, if we were to take all of your amazing advice and we were to focus it down onto 5, and what would be those 5 pillars? I'm on a GLP-1. Here are the 5 things that I should focus on.
So we haven't even talked about this one yet, but most of our clients are middle-aged women with a lot on their plate. So stress
Guilty.
is huge. Stress would be number one. How can you manage stress? Maybe there's things that you can automate in your life right now. Maybe there's things you can delegate, or maybe just saying no more. What can you do?
Which I found out was a sentence. Just no.
Just no.
Sentence.
No, thank you.
Yes.
If you want to be really nice.
If you want to be polite, I like that, okay?
But like, how can you implement some more boundaries in your life? What do you need to thrive? I've done this exercise where we write down 3 drains and 3 charges each day. Like, what are 3 things that are consistently draining you? And what are 3 things that are consistently helping you feel recharged? And over a month's time, it's really easy to notice trends and maybe start to make a little bit of life changes for yourself.
Yeah.
So that you can be managing stress and feeling your best. And then along with that would be sleep. How can you optimize your circadian rhythm? So maybe that's having a better bedtime routine, more consistent sleep wake. Maybe that's getting outside when you can so that
Okay, so explain for everyone what a circadian rhythm is, because I think that I know what it is, but that might not be common knowledge.
So your circadian rhythm is going to be your body's sleep wake cycle, essentially, which everything stems from. A lot of hormones are related to our circadian rhythm. And so if you really want to optimize how you feel, then starting with sleep is going to be huge, especially in middle age when we're kind of in that perimenopause stage for most women too. Our sleep's impacted. So doing what we can on the sleep hygiene side. And for most women, stress is going to be huge because if we're managing stress, we're able to sleep better.
Yeah.
And then also using our environment, which is free. So getting outside, getting sunlight in your eyes, that's going to help with your optimal hormone production. So melatonin production at night, cortisol production in the mornings, as well as our hunger hormones, ghrelin, leptin. So managing hunger is going to be naturally a lot easier for us if we are prioritizing our circadian rhythm. So our sleep wake. And that can feel kind of overwhelming for women because sometimes sleep feels a little bit out of our control, but doing what you can to have a nighttime routine that helps you feel at peace and like you can move into sleep. So some simple kind of tips for a lot of people would be dimming lights at night, maybe supporting with magnesium, whether that's through magnesium-rich foods or supplementation. I don't know if I'm supposed to say that.
You can say it.
Okay. Magnesium glycinate is incredible for sleep.
I love magnesium glycinate.
Yes, me too. Supporting your nervous system. I probably have over 100 women that have told me how much better their sleep is from incorporating magnesium glycinate. So that's a huge one. And so those two. So managing stress, doing what you can to optimize sleep, which can be really hard in middle age, but something over nothing also.
Absolutely.
And then protein intake is going to be another really big one. That's going to help maintain muscle. That's going to help with just natural satiety. And so keeping you fuller longer throughout the day. And then fiber intake is a big one. That's going to help support your gut microbiome. That's going to help support digestion as well as satiety. And then lastly, do I talk about resistance training? No.
Yeah.
Yes, movement would be a big one. So Obviously, any kind of movement is going to help support from a calorie output standpoint, which is only going to help in terms of fat loss. But also things like walking are going to help with stress relief. And that is a huge one that's often overlooked. It's so easy to walk. Well, maybe not.
That's my favorite.
The late so but I think
Yeah.
walking is like something we crave
Yes.
at this stage of life. And it's something we can always do, whether that's maybe a walking treadmill at our desk, maybe that's getting outside in between meetings, maybe that's a morning walk that you fit in. Walking is stress relieving. It's also going to help us burn more calories throughout the day. So it's not stressful. So that is a really low hanging fruit for most people to take advantage of. And that doesn't mean you need to have 15,000 steps a day. Maybe look at your current step count and increase by 2,000 if you want to really kind of take things up to the next level. So that's a really great one to incorporate. And then my most dear to my heart would be resistance training, doing what you can to build muscle or maintain muscle, because that's going to support you for life.
Because you cannot build muscle without resistance training, even if you're intaking enough protein.
Absolutely. Yeah. The two
I think that's a common misconception.
I wish you could just eat protein and you would grow muscle.
Oh, beautifully muscle. I love this.
You do need
But you do need the resistance.
Yes, and that can be done, like so many women can incorporate that. Start with what feels realistic for you.
Yeah. I think so I will say some of the ways that I've been able to do some of these things is, like I said, I'm a mother of 2 little children. So every morning before I leave for work, we actually go out barefoot into the grass.
Love that.
Which is a lot easier in the summer. But we all do it together because one of the things I find is that working my time home, I want with my babies, right? Like, that's what I want to do. So I have figured out how to incorporate my babies into my lifestyle so that every morning we walk out in the grass together. We do that together. Coco helped to make a smoothie for my drive to work in the morning, and she loves it. And it's so cute. We have these little like fake knives that she can like cut a strawberry. Guys, little the child-safe ones. They're so cute. So like I feel like those type of things. We do a walk as a family after dinner because that also helps with motility and get everything moving. But also it's family time. I thought you're connecting and you're connected. Yes. So I feel like when you actually take all of these things and you think about your own life, like if you're sitting there and you're like, well, I don't have little kids, so I don't have to worry about that, or I don't have this job, or I own a ranch and I have to work on a farm in the morning, or however you're like, for me, I'm like, just take a look at your life.
Yeah.
I'd say, okay, how can I incorporate these things into what I'm doing?
Yeah. And that's going to be really individual. But the amazing part is whatever you're doing with intention in any of these categories is going to help you feel better and help you for long term.
Yeah, I love that. So I think GLP-1s are a game changer. Like I think what they've done for people with obesity have really been incredibly impactful. But one of the things I do find is that the people who they don't have as much success and they don't have long-term success. And I look at the standard American diet, and I look at individuals who you were eating 4,000 calories of highly calorically dense foods with little no nutritious. And then all of a sudden that goes down, you're just eating a lot less of not so great. And I'm not surprised that people don't feel good. It's not because of the drug. It's because the drug is helping you eat less. But if you're eating less of garbage, that can be really hard. And I can imagine low energy, brain fog, nausea, like all of those things, losing muscle, which is your metabolic longevity organ. And so like I'm just really grateful for you to come on because I hope people who are listening are able to see, okay, this is going to help me do this, and this is what's going to give me really those results, whether you just want to look good.
And that's fine. I work with clients all the time and they're sometimes embarrassed to say like they have a body composition goal. And I'm like, you can have whatever goal you want as long as it also is going to support your long-term health and wellness. Like, I'm great with that. Like, let's go after larger glutes or a smaller waist or whatever it is that you want. But I think having the education, it then allows you to go deeper into that goal. Like that aesthetic goal might feel important, but I would challenge most people to dig a little bit deeper beyond that. and you'll probably be able to adhere to whatever the plan is and whatever those habits are a lot more easily if you dig deeper beyond just, I want my waist to be smaller or I want to weigh less.
Yeah. I think a lot of times those goals actually come down to a confidence of
Absolutely.
people just want to look good and feel good, but they think but looking good helps them feel good.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, it was yes, we want this.
We want confidence.
So let's do it in the way that makes us actually feel good.
Yeah. Yeah. And a GLP-1 might open the door for people so they feel like now it feels manageable to incorporate those habits. And if that's the case, I love that.
Me too.
And those habits are what's going to help them maintain their results and have that confidence for life, because really doing those habits helps you feel amazing.
Yes.
And I think that a lot of times people want a shortcut or they want a quick fix, and they think those habits sound hard, but they don't recognize that those habits are going to help them really feel amazing. And so by wanting to bypass them, they're missing all the results and the positive biofeedback that come with that.
Yeah. So with all of this, I think what XMD Wellness is for is we really want to advocate for people to be able to get customized, personalized care, but also education.
Yeah.
Because when you know why you're doing what you're doing, it is so much easier to do it. I think education is so key in all of this, and understanding. So if we were to go back just quick, those 5. So you said sleep, stress,
Sleep, protein.
fiber, weight training.
Absolutely.
Okay. Those are the 5. And if you do those 5 things alongside your personalized peptide therapy, you're going to feel so much better. You're going to look better. And you're just going to do it in a way that I feel like that longevity, like,
Yes, that's the piece.
that's the gate. Like, I want to live a long time, but I want to live live well in that long time. And doing these together really allows for that.
Yeah. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much for being here. I love this. You really do an amazing job of empowering women and helping to change lives. So, thank you.
Thank you. I feel the same about you.